Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to actually be talking about the first time I actually came to the States, or actually the first time I came in 2017 to study in the US. So let's get this video started. Alright, if you guys see the blue light going on in my glasses, don't mind it at all. I'm actually having a computer right next to me, so I'm just making sure everything is all fine. But I'm going to be starting off telling you guys the story of when I first came to the States in 2017. So in the year 2017, I just recently graduated high school and I was a young boy. All right, I was about 18 at that time. And I had this ambitious dream, right, to pursue a US education. Now at the time, I did not know really what the country was like. I mean, I've been to the US twice before for vacation and whatnot. But I've never really lived outside of my home country, Thailand. And what was my goal really? It was just to make it to the States. That's the first little brief of how I actually decided to come to the States. All right, now if you all remember, actually back in 2017, America at that time was going through some serious spotlight in the media, not just media in the US itself, but global media. And to jog your memory just a little bit, back in 2017, that was the year that President Trump became elected into office.
You used to call me on the cell phone.
Now, I'm sure you all can remember how, chaotic that was and, how much disparity was going on in the country. And I'm going to save you all the trouble of the whole history lesson because, this channel isn't about expressing political opinions or even talking about politics. That is not the goal. But I am mentioning that just a little bit because of the fact that that does play into just a little bit about how my journey came about in the States. It is not an easy journey. Politics did have a huge impact on my journey here, but it is part of the story, right? And without immigration or without any legal jargons or legal terms, you won't know me and my story. So I just wanted to give a little bit of that context just to show you all that it does matter, but entirely, it is my personal journey. And so I just kind of wanted to let you all know that that does play a little bit in the role of my story. So let's actually talk about the visa. Now, as many of you are aware, non-permanent residents of the United States do require some form of legal sponsorship to stay in the country. Without some type of documentation or status, you are technically undocumented, right? And you've probably heard the term visa thrown out a lot. So when it comes to immigration, they are really strict on that. And you can do your own research on what type of visas there are. I'm gonna spare you all that trouble. I came, just to make it clear, I came on an F1 visa, which is a student visa that declared that I was gonna basically become an international student. So as a young 18-year-old who wanted to study in the States, I needed what was called the F1, right? And that just basically, like I said, makes you an international student. Now, there's a lot of legality that does go into being an F1 student. You have to provide documents, sufficient evidence that shows that you are going to be able to sustain as a student the next 4 years or however long of a program that you're in. Even if you go for a master's program, that's still considered an F1 student. So I was fortunate enough to have had the right documents at the right time. And, I've always believed, in a lot of destiny and, things lining up, because it is hard. Essentially, it is really hard when you start applying for such things like the visa, like business visas, even tourist visas. It has been quite difficult. Immigration just in general is very difficult. And so you just got to play your cards right. Now, most of you may think at this point that getting the visa may have been the hardest part of the journey, right? And honestly speaking, that was just the start. To some degree, yes, legal matters can be the most tedious, life-changing process that you're going to go through. And there's going to be a lot of stress, anxiety, maybe disappointment even because, maybe it didn't get approved. But as I went through the journey of getting that F1 visa back in Bangkok in 2017, it was quite difficult. I mean, I needed all the guidance that I needed. I needed almost a lot of documents and a lot of evidence to show that, I could make it in the States. And it's not just about like, oh, can you pay for school? It's like, well, can you survive there? Like, can you pay for things in the country itself, right? So it does take quite a bit of work, right? And, when I filed for the document, I got the interview for the embassy and I paid fee after fee. And, I woke up early to make it to the embassy. I remember this. I woke up really early in the morning to get to the embassy. Stressed out of my mind because I'm like, what are they going to ask me? Or do I have everything? And I lined up in front of the US embassy. And I was worried because I was like, I'm going to miss my appointment time. Thank God I made it on time. And you can just imagine the amount of stress that I was going through, right? Now, needless to say, I did get the F1 visa, and getting it was a milestone because it finally meant that, I am now a student and I am going to the United States of America to study. And I finally got to tell that to everyone, to my teachers, to my friends, and, to my family as well. Now, if you stuck around till this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, that is a lot of work just to come to the States or just to come study in the States. And you're not actually wrong, because obviously that was the work that I had to put in. However, that was my choice, right? And that was the decision that I made. I had to go through all those hoops, and go through all that work that I had to do. Now, yes, legal matters and, all that, legal process is quite difficult and tedious, to say the least, but it is logistical and tangible. And what I mean by that is you can control, right? So you can control these things, right? If you were to say, they ask you for a specific document, you can pull it up, right? They say, prove your birth certificate, bring it up, right? Hey, show me where your address is, pull it up, right? Now, personally for me, I think the hardest battle is actually the mental and emotional battle, because as I was excited to come to the States, I was also incredibly fearful of coming to the States. I mean, in fact, I actually got cold feet before deciding that I actually wanted to come to the States. And I thought to myself, no way am I going to survive there. I don't have a clue if I can actually even survive there. And plus, I was like, is my English even that good, right? Some of you watching will probably be like, well, your English is impeccable, Henrik. Why did you even think that? Well, at that time, I didn't live around like Americans or anything. So how was I going to justify that I could speak good English, right? Now, I was incredibly fearful because of the fact that I knew that I was going to leave everything behind. Right? My friends, family, my comfort, my culture, all that stuff. And I knew that it was going to be a new life. And I was really, really scared of that. But I knew that this was the journey that I chose for myself, for a better life, for a better future for me and my family. Now, I remember meeting up with my friends on several occasions before I left, and they would ask, will you be coming back anytime soon, like in the next couple of months, maybe for Christmas or summer? And I just remember saying to them, I don't know when I'll actually be back, but I just want to enjoy this present moment that I have with you, because that's all I have right now, and that's the only answer I can give at the moment. Now, that, of course, may sound quite sad, quite even depressing, but it was true. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. That was the truth. I did not know when I was going to be back again. Same to my family. And that was the answer I would give. I don't know when I'll be back, but let's just enjoy the present moment with what we have. Now, goodbyes are always hard, right? So this leads me to the next phase, which was the departure. Now, the departure probably to me was when I finally realized, it's that acceptance, right? That I'm finally leaving. Previously, I talked about more like the prep, right? Where I had to file certain things and I had to show evidence and I had to really prove that, I could survive in the country and whatnot. And the mental preparation, the emotional preparation of actually getting here and knowing that, my life is going to change forever, right? So this is the departure phase. And I'm not going to go too much into detail of like what happened and whatnot, but all you guys need to know is that the acceptance of leaving my country, my home, was a very heartbreaking one. And yes, the legal portion may be stressful, and later on it does get a little bit more stressful as I grow in the country. But the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual battle was just only about to begin. And on the day of my flight, there was actually a mix of gratitude and sorrow. And you can tell, that I was nervous out of my mind, but at the same time, I was excited for this adventure that I was going to go on. Now, little did I know there was going to be a huge journey ahead of me, right? Come time 2017, 2018, which we'll get into in the next couple of videos, I had a constant battle and constant doubt of whether I did actually belong in the country. You got to just take that risk, man. Sometimes in life, you just got to take that risk. So I made that decision finally, and I got my passport, boarding pass ready, took a deep breath, walked into the gate, and took that one-way flight to San Diego. And the rest was history. And that, my friends, was the start of my new life. Hey y'all, thank you so much for watching this video. If you actually enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and share the video as well. Please, I'm trying to grow this channel into maybe about 50 subscribers right now. I know there's not really that many subscribers at the moment, but I believe in this channel, and I hope that this story could share and touch and inspire a lot of other international students out there. So thank you so much. Please share, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.